What's up, folkers? Snapzilla Gorilla in the place to be. Coming at y'all with another short video. As you all know, coming December 10th, there will be a lot of changes going on in YouTube. They're going to be enforcing this COPPA shit, you know what I'm saying, with the kids and all that. No, damn well they don't really care about the children, nor do the people that pass this legislation. What they want, they don't want us to speak up on protecting the children. They don't want us to bring to light all of the weapons pointed at our children, like vaccinations, like Common Core, like the school system in general, like what's that? Gun-free zones in the schools. They don't want our children to stop committing suicide at a much higher rate than they did when I was a kid. They don't want us to bring that to light. No. See, they'd be very happy with all these pedophiles that go to these children's channels to try to get the children to do nasty shit for their pleasure. No, though, they enjoy that. That brings a lot of traffic. That brings a lot of ads. This is what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to check out Queen's Throne. Okay, she has a lot of content in regards to the children and safeguarding children. But she also has a video where she goes into how pedophiles stalk children who have channels on YouTube. Okay, now like children have channels on YouTube, and these pedophiles, they'll go to their channel and tell them to do things like jumping jacks, having them do things to see their body parts and all this other shit. The children, YouTube don't care about that. YouTube don't care about that because these children's content channels bring traffic. They bring all kind of nasty traffic, and then that nasty traffic will then be able to get you ads on your channel. Now if you go ahead and make your videos, if you're making children videos, or you're making videos that target children, that target a children audience, then you have to go in there and you have to say that your content is for children. Or if you're not, you got to say your content isn't for children. Now, if you do say that your content is for children, then guess what? You can't even make a comment. You cannot make a comment. All right? You can't. The comments will be disabled. I mean, because what they don't want people to see that the pervs are actually commenting under these children's videos. No, they want the pervs to be quiet while they're checking your children out. You know what I mean? See, YouTube don't care if pedophiles target your children on YouTube if your children have a channel. They just don't want everybody to know that they don't care. So they have to disable the comments, and that's what this is all about. Now, even if you don't make content for children, and this is what I'm hearing, I need to look this up. I need to get into this. I need to look into this. Any YouTube content creators that watch my channel, that you guys can go check this out. Maybe do some research on it. I'm going to do some research on it myself. We should all be talking about this. But I hear that even if you mark your videos as not for children, if you mention anything about children, if there's anything in your content that have to do with children, even though you say it's not for children, that can get you in all kind of problems too. So, but if your content, or if that particular video has to do with children, let's say you're talking about child molestation, let's say you're talking about child sex trafficking, let's say you're talking about harvesting organs of children, how people harvest the children's organs, because you're talking about children, they will consider that content for children. But then if you make it, if you mark that as content for children, then they hear you talking about that type of stuff in regards to children, that can get you in trouble too. See, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. You can't really talk about children in any meaningful way. You can't advocate for children on YouTube anymore, because you're going to be talking about some real shit regarding children. Now, you can speak on positive things for children, right? But what do they determine to be positive? You don't know. So ultimately, the best bet is to hop onto a platform, make your content available on a platform where all this censorship is not cracking. Okay, DTube, D Live, all this other shit, TrueTube, Big Dread got that cracking, BitChute, all these different platforms where censorship is not what they're doing. They're not into censorship. They're anti-censorship. You know, but you got to get your content over there. You got to get your followers over there. That's the only thing. So I'm going to look into one of those other platforms myself. Maybe BitChute, TrueTube for sure, D Live, all these other platforms. I get a lot of suggestions from people, and you know, it is what it is, y'all. I mean, this is a test. This is a test to see how many people will stick with YouTube if they go through with this. A lot of channels are going to be disappearing come December 10th. And your videos have to be considered commercially viable. So what does that mean for people like me who can't even be monetized yet? I don't even have 1,000 followers yet. What does that mean for me? I don't know. Maybe they're not looking at people like me yet. Maybe once I get that 1,000 subscribers, maybe then they'll determine if I'm commercially viable or not. I was thinking about taking my channel off YouTube and not even bothering with the hassle, but I think I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna go ahead and make all my content as not for children, and I'm gonna take my chances that way. But I'm not gonna stop speaking on behalf of the children. And every time I want to speak on children, I guess I'll have to say this content is not intended to entertain or for children's viewing. But I will be speaking about children. Maybe that's a route we have to go legally. And what does this come along with? What is going on as this is happening? As we watch these hearings, these impeachment hearings, the farce on YouTube, on these channels, right? What's going on when that's happening? You got that. You got the vaping. They're talking about vaping. They're talking about. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of distractions. What are they distracting us from? One thing I know that they're distracting us from is the fact that over 200 Democrats voted to extend the Patriot Act. Voted to extend the Patriot Act. Now, it had a moonlight or a sunset clause. It was extended twice before by Obama, and now it's been extended during the Trump administration, or so they hope it will. So let's keep tabs on what's going on with that. Also, we should be keeping tabs on is the TAPS Act. The TAPS Act is still sitting in Congress, okay? But it's going to be a highly controversial a piece of legislation. If it passes, they can't just, they have to wait for the right time. They have to wait for the right time, the right moment to prime everyone, okay? To prime everyone so that we can accept the TAPS Act, like what happened with the Patriot Act. The Patriot Act would never have happened if 9/11 didn't happen. We wouldn't even think about allowing them to pass the Patriot Act if 9/11 didn't happen. Now, the TAPS Act is like the Patriot Act times 10. You know how you have, let's say you have 38 plus P, right? 38 is a bullet plus P. Okay, so the Patriot Act is the 38 plus P. Okay, or P plus. I forgot fucking shit. But basically, it's a 38 caliber round, right? Well, the TAPS Act is going to be a .357 Magnum, right? But you can fire both bullets through the same revolver, okay? It's just going to be a beefed up Patriot Act. What the TAPS Act is going to do is allow them to arrest people for crimes they haven't committed yet, to take their weapons, right? To put them through psychological evaluation, to take their children away, or you're a danger to yourself and others because of some shit you said on YouTube. So people like me, right? A known veteran, I'm a veteran, right? And I talk this shit on YouTube. They could very well say, oh, well, Snapzilla Gorilla, he said a lot of anti-government things. He said this, that, and the third. You know, he might be a danger to himself and others. You know, and how they interpret that is, God knows how they're interpreting. God knows how they will interpret and determine if someone is really wackadoo. All right, it's not going to be any rhyme or reason to it. You're going to have some guy with subjective data. He's going to go on every platform he can. He's going to fish out people that are speaking up and speaking out against government tyranny. And they're going to paint us as what? Terrorists, domestic terrorists maybe. You know, clump us in some type of category. And then what? The TAPS Act is going to allow them to come get a motherfucker like me and put me through psychological evaluation. Take my weapons, which I don't have. California has made it very unattractive to own a weapon. So I don't have them here anymore. I don't own any firearm right here in California. Anyway, so they're going to take my knife. They're going to take my knives. I got knives. Okay. They're going to take my knives. All right. They're going to take whatever they can from me. See, they don't want any resistance for what they got to come. And what they got to come is forced vaccinations for everyone, not just the children who are going to school. What they got coming for you is forced indoctrination of your children, forced vaccination of your children and yourself, Agenda 21, where they don't want anybody to have the freedom of travel, right? They got these bullet trains cracking. They got the bullet trains coming. They're building the mega cities. They want the smart grid. They got 5G proliferating all over the place. You know what I'm saying? They need to get their 5G out. They don't need people like me speaking out against 5G. As a matter of fact, I did a presentation regarding 5G. Y'all might want to go check that out back in the day sometime. You know, I haven't set up any playlists. I will do a playlist because I do have some presentations that I've done where I compile the information and I connect the dots and I actually show you the receipts. So I have some of that. I'm going to maybe make a playlist on that. But it takes a lot of time. This shit takes time, right? Every time I've researched something to present to you guys where I wanted to actually show you the proof of what I'm talking about, it takes time. It takes time. And I don't have the talent. I don't know how to edit videos and all this other shit. You know, people got these fancy video editors. I don't know how to do that yet. And I don't really have time to learn right now. So all I can do is what I'm doing right now. The best I can do right now is to tell you what I'm talking about. And I urge you to go look this shit up. It's real. And then whenever I can, I will go ahead and do a presentation where I'm actually showing you the sources of where I get my information. I want to do that more and more. But, you know, with work right now and my second book getting ready to come out, I'm focused on that. And yeah, at some point I hope to have to, I don't want to work forever, you know. I have a 5-year plan. I want to be able to retire in 5 years and I'll be 44? I'm gonna be retired when I'm 44. I don't want to be working for until I'm 60 years old. No, hell no. I want to have some shit established to where I don't have to go to work. I can let my money work for me. That's what it's all about. Anyway, I digress. So you got the Patriot Act. You got this COPPA stuff, right? Coming down through YouTube. Look at what they're doing. In California, they're trying to pass a law, or I think they did pass a law where if you don't do proper fact checking, right, before you share something on the social media, you can get in trouble for that. See, all these things are coming together to further oppress you. And we have to fight it in whatever way we can. I have to be real about it. I can't sugarcoat shit. I can't say, oh, well, you know, if we put our heads together and we pray. No, we got to do action. We got to act. Action is important. You can't just talk about the shit. You can't just do this, can't do that. We have to act. And sometimes you have to just, by acting, you can just prepare yourself. You know, stay in shape, train, stay vigilant. You know what I'm saying? Be careful of what you say. For me, it's already too late. They can go back to through all my Facebook history. They go through my Facebook history. They can go through some shit I was involved in when I got out the army. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell y'all a story. I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, But when back in 2005, I ran across a group of people, right? Spoken word artists, Hotep two-steppers, okay, that were very vocal about their disdain for the government, okay, very vocal about it. Very, very vocal about their disdain for the police officers who go around murdering people. So I've been on this shit. I've been on this anti-cop. I mean, not anti-cop. Well, yeah, that's what it has to be. Yeah, anti-cop, because police officers are street pirates who are order followers who don't think about the impact they're having on people's lives. They're not moral. They just follow an order. They don't want to lose their job. They don't want to lose their cushy. They don't want. They weren't walking around in their bulletproof vest and their sidearm, talking about they fear for their life. No, they're extortion muscle. They extort people. So yeah, that's what it is. I mean, there's no two ways about it. Police officers, by definition, cannot be good people because they sign up. They sign up to terrorize people. They sign up for it. Yeah, they know they're doing it. They just don't care because they feel like they have that right. They feel like they're special. They feel like they're granted special powers and privileges to be able to foist their will on the other people. You hear cops, they'll say, "Oh, I'm a police officer. I can do what I want," and they really believe that. See, and it's trained into them. They're trained to think that way. So we were very against that. Ugh. Okay? Very against that. And me and this group of people, we would go to schools. See, there were a lot of riots going on. A lot of school riots. Okay? A lot of black versus brown school riots going on in LA. Different high schools. And we would go out there, we try to keep the peace. We just stand around and make sure these kids are not attacking each other. There were some instances we had to stop, but that's what I was involved in. But in this group we had so-called leaders that didn't actually participate in that shit. It was just us new folks, me and the homie, my brother, and a couple other people that joined around the same time. We were the ones putting our feet to the ground. We were the ones out there, pounding pavement, getting petitions signed, because this young man, Devin Brown, he was 13 years old. Devin Brown took his grandmother's car. Okay, took his grandmother's car, and unfortunately, she reported it stolen. She didn't know he took it, but he went out for a joyride. He was joyriding in his grandmother's car. Cops came across him, ran him off the road, and shot into the car 34 times, killing a young man, killing a 13-year-old boy, shooting him 34 times. All right, and we wanted this cat, the cop that did that, we wanted him fired, prosecuted, imprisoned. We wanted his ass to go down. Okay. And when it came time to actually go out there and pound pavement and try to make this movement happen, there was no YouTube, there was no this, there was no that. We were out there. No one was videotaping us. We were just out there trying to get this shit popping. We were trying to get them damn pigs locked up. Okay? Not paid administrative leave like they got in the first place. No, we wanted they ass out of there, under the jail. All right? Prosecuted, convicted for murder. But when it came time to go out there and pound the pavement, again, it was just a certain people being involved, while these other people, I'm talking about, I'm taking my weekend up to go get this done because I felt passionate about it, and I was passionate about it. But we would go to this church meeting, and then all of a sudden, they're bringing a goddamn cop to the church meeting. Like, it wasn't actually for church. It was at a church. It was a meeting at a church every Tuesday that we went to kind of strategize and talk about what we could do to end police terrorism. Because that was our focus was. Our focus was to end police terrorism in our neighborhoods. That's what our goal was for that moment, and that's what Devin Brown sparked that in all of us. We were like, okay, man, this shit got to stop. I mean, we're talking about, this is before this is before Mike Brown, this is before, all these other sensationalized police shootings. This is before that. This is before they even sensationalized police shootings. This was something that was local. Like, we wanted that shit to stop. Then we had Minister Tony Muhammad. You know who Minister Tony Muhammad is from the NOI. He would speak there too. I wasn't part of NOI, but we had Tony Muhammad. He would come every Tuesday. We would talk and strategize, talk about ending police terrorism. Okay, and what this cat do? He brings a cop to the community call to action meeting. He brought a cop and tried to soften us up to embrace this cop, because this cop was acting like, oh, well, maybe we shouldn't be doing this, that, and the third, but we're here to serve our community. We're putting our lives in danger. You know the same fucking mantra, right? Oh, we put our lives in danger. You know what? When you signed up to be a cop, you signed up to put your life in danger. You did that knowingly, willingly. You volunteered. Just like I volunteered for the Army and put my life in danger and trained and busted my ass. Didn't nobody make me do that. I volunteered for that. So if I were to abuse my position as a soldier and abuse another human being under the umbrella or under the protection of being a soldier, that doesn't, I mean, come on. That makes it worse. Any violation of any code or moral standing, any violation of any so-called law by police officers, by soldiers, by people that are supposed to have this standing, their punishment should be much worse than the normal citizen, because you know the law, you know what you're supposed to do, you know you're supposed to uphold the law, you know you're supposed to uphold the Constitution. Every time you violate, you need to suffer more than anybody else who is not a cop. So don't bring this cop in here trying to soften us up to a cop. What the hell was that about? Yeah, Minister Tony Muhammad brought a cop. And I was like, really? You bringing a cop? The cops ain't the police were not trying to hear. They don't want to they don't want to fire these police officers that killed Devin Brown. No, they don't want to do that. That's why do you think we had to get petition cracking? No, they didn't want to do that. No. And that's why that cop was there. It was a black cop too. You know how they do that. Oh, let's bring a black cop on through here and soften these niggas up. You know what I mean? I mean, come on. I wasn't seeing through. I was seeing through the bullshit. I was like, seriously? They bring a cop here? You bring a cop here when we're talking about ending police terrorism? What was he doing here? Nothing. Needless to say, nothing was accomplished. Nothing was accomplished. When you start seeing through the layers, when you start seeing what's going on, when you're seeing the inner workings of this type of shit, you know, your mind gets open. You see what's really what. And then there was another guy. You know, after that Tony Muhammad situation, I was like, I talked to other members of the group I was with. I was like, really, we're gonna rock with this? This is how we rolling? We rolling with this? And you know, they were, you know, they wanted to continue to rock with it. I was like, yeah, I'm cool. So then I just backed off. I backed off. I couldn't do it no more. I'm like, okay, this is some fake shit. I would do some things with them every now and then when they feed the homeless. I go feed the homeless with them, but I wasn't doing any of the other shit. Yeah, let's go feed the homeless in downtown. Give them some sandwiches and shit. Yeah, we can do that. But anything else is like, you know, and it was wise. I got a girl. You know what I'm saying? I met this chick that I was really digging, and I was just that was my focus for a while, for a good few months. And then I wasn't really foxing with them. I took her to a couple of the spoken word events, you know, because they're spoken word artists who's, like I said, they spit spoken word about this shit. But I kept my distance. Then I started hearing shit. One of the cats that was with the group, right? Turned out he was fucking agent. He was an agent. You know, and he was doing all kind of crazy shit. Like, I mean, I heard he might even like force himself on one of the women in the group. You know, it was wild, yo. Like, this dude he actually helped break up the group after I left. You know, he did. He caused problems, and that's what COINTELPRO is all about. We got COINTELPRO, real shit. We got COINTELPRO, and he broke up the group. But I was out of there. I saw the writing on the wall. I said, this is some fake shit. Nothing's going to get accomplished dealing with these people. And, you know, no one was arrested or anything. Not that I know. I don't know if anybody got turned or whatever, because they weren't really on that level yet. They weren't on the level where they weren't really true revolters, right? They weren't really true revolutionaries. To be a revolutionary, you have to revolutionize. You have to change something. You have to spark change in other people. You have to start a movement. They wasn't moving. They were just talking and feeding the people, right? Feeding the homeless people every other Sunday. And that's fine, you know? But these people, they weren't about it. You know, they weren't really about to ride on nothing. Real shit. They weren't about to ride on nothing. So, and I saw that. I was like, man, these people ain't riding on nothing. I ain't about to start riding with them. And these guys are buffoons, man. I was the only one in the group with military experience, and the dudes in there were just soft. They were soft dudes. And now one of them is like this. Well, I'm not gonna put all the business out there, but one of the cats is out there. You know, he got his own kids. He just moved on with his life. Like, he was all Hotep. Now he's just about his money. You know what I'm saying? He sells Primerica, so he's a Primerica agent, and he's about his money. You know, he got his new whip. You know, he's a really good salesman. That's what he's on now. And then another cat, he's a deadbeat dad, stays with his mom or whatever, and don't take care of his kids. But yet he puts on seminars for $350. It's crazy what these people turn out to be doing. And then one of the women, she moved to Africa to become a masseuse. Like, this is what happened. Okay, this dude came in there, COINTELPRO everybody, turned everybody against everybody else. I'm talking about, you know, the dude that was I guess you can call him the leader. He got into it with the chick who wanted to be the leader, and it was just all kind of problems created, and it didn't crack. This woman was sleeping with this man who was married to somebody. It was just a whole bunch of wild shit. The point is that you have to be real careful about who you line yourself with. See, I pulled out of that. And thank God they weren't on any other level than what they were on. I mean, thank God they weren't on that higher level. And thank God I wasn't foxing with them if they were on that level. Because they'd have got I'd have got along with their ass. So, it is what it is. But now, I'm a man apart. I'm an army of one. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. And I'm just out here trying to bring awareness to things. Bring up things that you might not have known about. Like the TAPS Act. Like the Patriot Act being extended. I mean, this is very important shit. What the Patriot Act did when it came out, it changed the world for the worse. It changed the world. The world we're living in now in the United States, the life we're living now, how things are going right now, The Patriot Act is just all these people being falsely arrested, being held indefinitely just for being suspected of a crime. I mean, this shit is wild, man. And what is Trump going to do about it? You think Trump is not going to sign it into law? Y'all got another thing coming if you think he ain't. Trump is not a freedom lover. He is for civil asset forfeiture. He is for red flag laws. No, he is not a revolutionary president. No. He's not a freedom lover. He's a freedom snatcher. Okay? And right now he's talking about vaping. He's trying to determine if flavored vaping is going to be illegal. Excuse me. And I mean, come on, man. Oh, man. I mean, you're talking about that whole hearing on vaping, flavored vaping. Like we don't have other important shit to talk about. But yeah, this is the Dog and Pony Show. This is the Dog and Pony Show. Anyway, I'll holler at y'all later. Much love to you. And share and like this video if you feel the need. And yeah, keep enjoying my content. I got a lot of videos, and you can go back as far as you want. I got, like I said, I got some presentations where I'm showing receipts. Particularly, I need you to check out the video, the presentation I did on Common Core, vaccinations, 5G, and its connection to the increased rate of teen suicide or child suicide. Okay, very important stuff there. Protect your children at all costs. Much love, and let's keep it moving, y'all. Peace.